Hello everyone, welcome to my mom's channel. Today we are doing something different. We're making a mushroom risotto. Therefore I'm cooking and we'll be taking you through the recipe while my mom watches on. So to start off, I'll give you what the ingredients needed are. So you're going to need some a quarter chopped onion, a few cloves of garlic. Depending on the size of your garlic, you'll need about 4 large cloves or 5 large cloves of garlic, but we've got small garlic, so we put a little bit more. You can crush them up so that you get more flavor of the garlic into the risotto. Some fresh thyme, some fresh shallot leaves, and then about 100 grams of butter just to fry everything off in. Then you're going to need 2 cups of risotto rice. That's going to be, well, we're cooking risotto, so that's going to be your basis. Then optional, 1 cup of white wine. You can use whichever white wine you have in stock. And then stock, vegetable stock we're using. And this has its own mixing instructions. It needs about 20 grams per liter, and we'll need roughly 2 liters of stock. So 20 grams is a tablespoon, so you'll need about 2 tablespoons of stock. Then we do a little bit of a hack in that we also use cream of mushroom soup. So this is a mushroom risotto, and to give it a more mushroom flavor, we'll use 2 tablespoons of this soup just at the start. About 2/3 a cup of grated parmesan cheese, and then we've got about a tray and a half of button mushrooms that we bought and sliced up. And then you're going to need some hot water to make both to mix up both your soup and your stock for the risotto. Then we've got 2 optional ingredients. We've got peas. I like to add peas because they add a pop of color and a little bit of crunchiness or burst of flavor when you eat them. And then today we're also going to fry some chicken. We're going to keep the risotto vegetarian except for the alcohol. And then we'll fry the chicken on the side and serve it together. Alright guys, so here's the method. So of the butter, we're just going to reserve a little bit aside for frying the chicken. And then the rest of the butter will go into the pot to actually start frying up or preparing for your risotto. So we're going to put the butter in and let it melt. Okay, so once the butter is melted or beginning to melt, what we're going to do is add in just the onions and cook them to softness. So you don't need to brown them. You just cook them till they soft yellow. And what I like to do is season as I go along. So I'll add in my pepper now. I think also adding in the pepper while the butter is still frying gives you a little bit more flavor of the pepper in the oil. And then just a small sprinkling of salt just for the onions. Okay, so our onions are almost done. What we're going to do is now add in the mushrooms and let them fry out. So when the mushrooms fry, they release a lot of water or moisture, so we want to actually just sweat them out before adding in the risotto. Okay, so while the mushrooms are frying out, what I'm going to do is quickly fry out the fry out the chicken that we're going to serve alongside it. We marinated the chicken with just some lemon juice and some paprika and some dried herbs. So we're just going to fry this out now. And we'll serve it alongside the risotto later on. So this is about 4 chicken breasts. that we've got here, this 2 cups of risotto rice will actually feed between 6 and 8 people. So the 4 chicken breasts will just be enough for those 6 to 8 people as well. Okay, so now the mushrooms have steamed out and they're browning up a little bit. So what we're going to do is add your 2 cups of risotto rice, and we're going to try and get this rice coated with the butter. The butter releases some of the starches, and frying it out by coating it with the butter actually makes your risotto thicker at the end. So we're going to just coat all of this risotto that we just added with the butter so that all the grains get some of that butter, and we toast the rice a little bit. So now that we coated all our risotto, we're just going to add in the white wine and let that soak through. Again, the order in which you add these things are important, because now the white wine will soak into the risotto, again releasing some of those starches and thicken up your risotto or your end product risotto. Okay, so now that the wine has absorbed into the risotto rice, the next step is to add in that mushroom soup. Sorry, I said 2 tablespoons, but it's actually 1 heaped tablespoon of the soup that I've mixed in with about half a liter of water, mixed thoroughly so that you don't have any lumps of soup in the risotto, and then you add that to the risotto as well, and let that absorb through, and then keep stirring. That's the important part with the risotto. Keep stirring as you add in these liquids, and the risotto will suck up the liquid and cook as it's doing so, and get fatter and fatter and softer and softer. Okay, so the first 500 ml of liquid have been absorbed. So what I've done is just mixed in the vegetable stock, 1 tablespoon per liter of water, and what I'm going to do is add in about half a liter of the stock and keep the other half liter in reserve so that we can keep cooking the risotto. And keep stirring so that it doesn't get hot and that the rice cooks evenly. Okay, so because we're using fresh peas that were then frozen, I'm going to add it in now so that it has time to cook, and then cooks with the risotto as you add in your next layers, your next stock, and it will cook the peas as well. Okay, as the stock gets absorbed, you keep adding your stock in 500 ml increments. So this is now 1 liter of stock that we've used, plus the soup, plus the cup of wine. Risotto does take a lot of liquids. And we'll now stir it in and let it absorb again. I may have added a little bit too much water of stock, but it will absorb and slowly cook through again. Okay, so the stock that I added is now absorbed again. At this point, what you want to do is take a grain of rice and either squash it between your fingers or just taste it and see how chewy it still is. You want your al dente to have some bite to it, but must not be chalky. So what I'm going to do now is I've mixed another 500 ml of stock. I won't add all of it in at once. I'm just going to add in about half of it, so about 1 cup of stock, because my risotto is almost there. It's almost getting there. So I'll quickly stir this through and let it absorb the stock, and then what I'll do is keep tasting as I go along, and when the risotto is the right consistency, I'll stop adding stock. So we've used about 1.75 liters of liquids to this point. Then my chicken is nice and brown. I'll just give it a quick toss, and I think it's almost ready as well, so I'll switch that off now. Okay, we almost there. I think 1 more cup of stock will do it. So we would have used 6 cups of stock, or 1.5 liters, plus the half a liter of soup that we had. I'm just going to add half of the stock and let it absorb in. And then what I'm also going to do is add in this fresh thyme that we had, so the flavor can get in a little bit, and the shallots that we cut from our mom's garden. Okay, so the risotto is almost done. I'm just going to add in that last bit of stock and let it absorb. And then on the chicken, I just seasoned with salt and pepper because we realized we didn't season the chicken when we marinated it. And again, this is to taste, so we'll also taste the risotto and make sure that it has sufficient salt and pepper. Okay, then the last step is to just add in the 2/3 of a cup of parmesan and let it melt into your risotto. And then when that last bit of stock absorbs into the risotto rice, then you're ready to serve. There you go, your mushroom risotto, which is vegetarian. You can add in some extra parmesan on the top, or like how we're going to have it today, just served with a few pieces of chicken. There it is. Right. I just want to say like and subscribe.
I think that bowl was skewed.
There you go, guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and if there's any specific requests, please let us know in the comments, and we'll certainly try to assist you there.